So next speaker will be Bitten Schei, Mothercourage. I think you will have a super story here waiting for you.
Hallo alle sammen. Jeg viser en liten... No, I'm sorry, English. I'm showing you some photos from my last trip in Uganda. It's up in Gulu. I went there in October with...
This is better. It's higher.
Thank you. Okay. I went to Gulu in Uganda in October with some of my... One is friend is from Gothenburg, and this one lady. And we wanted to make a connection with women from Gulu. They have been living in civil war for 20 years. And now they came back from the refugee camps and try to start a new life. Most of the men are died. And the aid program has made them very helpless because they were giving up food, building house, schools, and when they left, all the aid program left, the women were left with nothing. So, you know, empowering people is to make them believe that they can do something for themselves. I can do it. So that's why I think social entrepreneurs is very important in these areas. Just to focusing on, you can do it. And giving them a little help to help themselves. These villages are very remote. You can't see the way. You have to walk. And I was the first Muzundu, white person for 20 years that came in. And they are very tired of the government. They don't believe in the politicians. And I'm telling that I'm not a politician. I'm not from a department. I'm not an NGO. I'm just an ordinary woman from Norway who wants to collaborate with you. And I have not a lot of money. I'm a social capitalist, but I have a network that really want to share my vision. So let's collaborate. Let's be partners. That's my message. And that's also my message here today, that it's all about partnership and to work together, but you have to have a vision. So my new name in Uganda is Lake, the most beloved and most honored. And you know, they are really wonderful women, because it's not that I am going there and to help them and I feel pity for them. No, it's like that they have something to learn to me. It's a win-win situation. So this journey in Uganda, I've been working there for 6 years, really is healing me. It's giving me new perspective in life. It's enlarging my life. It has been giving me a richer life. So I'm very grateful for it. And I really hope that this journey, that I can take a lot of people with me. This is a piggery house they built, because we give them small seeds and pigs and cows, and then we tell them that you have to take care of that. You have to not eat the pig, not eat the cow, but you have to make it, to multiply it. That's how you can make a sustainable business. Like Eric said, it's all about trust. I have to trust in these women that they can do it. Okay, I have a career of social entrepreneurship for 21 years. I didn't know that I was a social entrepreneur when I started. This word came to me in the 2000. But I had my business idea, because I have my own business for 22 years next year. It has always been to design meeting places, to design platforms where people can come together. Where I don't ask what your profession is. I don't ask your success or your CV, but I ask you, what are you going to do? What are you going to contribute? And when we come together and are human beings and are connected with our hearts, then a lot of creativity can develop from that. Because we have to be equal. And that is a meeting place we can do. When people are coming together, they can, a lot of things can happen. So, 11th, okay. I have my business, name of my business is Mothercourage. But I have always been an innovator. And I always have been working on my own, but I'm not a lonely rider. I know that if I'm going to succeed, I have to work in partnership and in networks. Because you cannot do it alone. So, but I really feel that I'm a change maker. I want to change the world, and I think I say to my politician friends that, sorry, the politician, you cannot change the world. But as a person, you can do it. But not in your political role, not in your political program, because they are stuck in a very traditional way of thinking. But as an individual, you can change the world if you believe in the beauty of your dreams. I have to tell you that I'm from Bergen, the western coast of Norway. I'm very proud of coming from Bergen. But I was married and moved to another town, and it's called a little town, Notodden, it's called. It's the cradle of Norsk Hydro. And those two men, Sameide and Christian Birkeland, they really made a big innovation in starting in 1903. And I started as the Norwegian industrial adventure. They created a method for using electricity to capture nitrogen from the atmosphere. And the Swedish industrialist and banker Marcus Wallenberg became the company's first chairman of the board. So it was very much linked up to Sweden, but also a French capital. And I think that Marcus Wallenberg, he was the chairman of the board for almost 37 years. But I really feel that this story, how this man, Sameide, became a partner. Sameide was an entrepreneur, an engineer, and he became a partner to this professor, Birkeland. And they met at a dinner party. And then, you know, so you never know where you can meet your partner, someone who you can collaborate with. It could be here, it could be on the bus, it could be at a dinner party. So it's very important to be open-minded. When the industrial companies were falling down, many people they lost their jobs. The city was hanging the lips and sitting like this. Oh, help us! Then I was married to the blues musician, so I love music, And then I decided that, okay, let's, what are we good in? We can make blues music. So we started the Blues Festival. And that became the new identity of this little town. And it has been it for almost over 20 years. So I was in the pioneer period. For 5 years, I made television programs. I never made television, but you know, when you really feel that this is something that we can show the world, that we can show our identity by this festival, it really made a lot of new innovations. So I became very much involved in this blues festival. Made this what you call plakat, and made a lot of concepts for develop the whole prospect. And I learned a lot about how to mobilize people and how to make big events. And I really have, that has helped me a lot when I later moved to, I've been working in Russia, in Murmansk, in Russia, in Moscow, also in China, all by myself. Just say, I shall do this, because you just have to make a decision. My mentor is telling me, don't analyze, just do it. So I have always followed her. She's from London. And in that way, of course, you have to get out of your comfort zone. That's very important, because there is your new learning, your new experience. And so, but in 2008, I moved from Notodden when I was divorced and out to Oslo. And then after 8 years, I moved back. But during my time in Oslo, I went to Russia, Uganda, and New York, and China, and I learned about social entrepreneurship from from internet, because I didn't know that I really was that. So then I decided, okay, I should start a network for social entrepreneurs. Because you have to just do it. You just ask of permission. Because I'm telling my sisters in Uganda, don't sit with your hands in your lap and do that, something will happen. No, you have to be proactive. You have to do it. So we were 13 women coming together and telling stories from heart to heart about social entrepreneurship. And now it's a Facebook network, so you can join it if you want. And you know, it is ordered. It's a business with a social goal, and it's the largest. Is it the largest social revolution in our time? I believe that. So. Then we take Manhattan, and then we take Berlin. So we decided, the women, we decided, okay, we should go to the parliament, because the politician needs to know what social entrepreneurship is, because they don't know anything about it. So, you know, we live in, Norway has a very strong welfare state. The state is very strong, and the state is the biggest capitalist, with all the money, the oil money. And they believe that they can solve all the problems, but they can't. So we went to the parliament, and this gentleman, he is one of the Norwegian richest men. He is from Ferd, Johan Andresen. He is very engaged in social entrepreneurship. He has his own program. And we had a partnership with the political party Venstre, the left, who was a host. And for the first time, people came and told us, oh, I'm a social entrepreneur. I didn't know that. So it was like an aha for many people. What are we working with? We are the target group socially and economically disadvantaged people who are either experience or are at risk for experiencing poverty and social exclusion. In Norway, we have about 800,000 people that are not in the labor market, and most of them get money from the states. But they have nothing when they wake up, and they have nothing to go to, and that is Norway they lose a lot of people that are potential creative people that can do a lot of things, and of course. That is a big problem, and the problem will turn bigger. Because more welfare for all will be in focus, but it's clear that the public sector is facing the major challenge that traditional solutions methods are no longer sufficient. The need for welfare benefits is rising and will continue to grow in years to come. While resources are declining, that means finances and manpower. For instance, we are talking of the young people that is the lost generation in Europe. And even if money, there are oil in Norway, they can't. We are facing the same problem. That young people, they are dropouts and are. Not been taken care of. So we decided, in order to also make this social entrepreneurship on the agenda, I decided that we should write a book. So we just did it. It's about the will to change. It's social entrepreneurship in Norwegian, and it's stories, narrative stories, not statistic, and it's stories that when people read it, they feel it in their heart and they can get inspired. And then it is 20 stories about social change. That was in 2010. They're very different. There are researchers, there are philanthropes, private entrepreneurs like Ferd, that is a big program. He's a philanthrope, but he is also an investor. And a lot of small entrepreneurs that want to make a change. So when we have done this book, I decided, because I had the idea, but I know that I cannot do it alone. I have to share. I have to be partners. So I went to 6 of my other social entrepreneurs and asked them, shall we make a program? Shall we make a meeting place in social business? And they agreed, and then we made a program, and started in January 2011, where we had different kind of workshops. We had this year we have had 17 workshops with different teams, different targets. This is about branding, and you all know Jan Usandal. He is a part of the Nordic Research Network. And the woman up in the left, she is a very big arts and crafts entrepreneur. We had workshop of what is social business. The woman on the left, she is in microfinance network. And Hilde Dahl, she is one of the big social entrepreneurs, innovator in an organization called CREAM. We had an open space workshop. Sweet Chili Stories was facilitating. It's in my home place. And there you see Bert Ola on the left. And then we have this pitch, take a test, for the participants. And one of them is coming here today. Change attention. And now we are working on, we've got the idea, because I've been working a lot with the politicians during my years as working with entrepreneurs in Norway, especially women entrepreneurs. And I lobbied, I managed to lobby with my network a plan for women entrepreneurs. But when it came into the political program, that all the doors were closed for us. That really had done the work. Then it was a bureaucrat that he sat there for 2 years, and out came a plan. And it was had nothing to do with us. So then we decided, let's make a plan of action in social entrepreneurship and innovation. Voices from the grassroots, because we are the one who have know how it is, and we also have the solution. When you know the problem, you can also find a solution. And this plan will be delivered to 2 departments: the Department of Industrial and Commerce, and also the Department of Labor and Administration. And first they said, "Oh, are you going to make a plan?" It's, we are going to do it. So they were a little, they didn't like it. But when we told that it's a gift for you, then they said, okay, it's okay. So in this plan, we want to have a Nordic approach on some of the activities. So what have we done we managed during this process from 2008 to 2011, because this is my Norwegian approach. Me and my network, we decided that we should make a difference. We should put this on the agenda, the political agenda. Okay, we managed that the Norwegian Labour and Welfare Service, NAV, got 2.6 million Norwegian krone on the budget, the state budget. So that is a big achievement. It's a start. So that we who have done this work, we can also apply for something, so we can have some money, because all we are doing this is for free, almost for free. And then we can see that all that they have written is a blueprint for what we are telling them. So I think that now, the milieu, there are not so many people in Norway that, in my region, Notodden and Telemark, they don't know a lot of what social entrepreneurship is. But it's in Oslo, and you have some clusters at the university that you can find this, that this is on the agenda. But when I started talking about social entrepreneurship in my town, it was just a big question. Oh, what is this? So perhaps you should use another way of explaining it, because it's about developing the social capital in your village or in your city. My biggest my mission in life is when I met this woman in UN on a workshop in 2005. Her name is Joanita Sitenda, and our partnership is based on trust, like Eric said. It's all about trust. we have to believe in each other. So, from 2005 and up to now, 2011, we have built a great network between Norway and Uganda. And you can see it on Facebook. It's called Small is Great. Because I really believe in networking. I'm really a fan of networking. I really believe in working on Facebook, and I also have a big database with thousands of people. Of course, because it's all about communication. And if I'm going to speak out of for my dream, I have to tell it over and over and over again. I can be so tired of it, but I have to do it over and over again. But you have to have hands out. You have to do things. It's not like just talking, because that's what the politicians are doing. They are talking. But you have to do it. You have to make concrete things, like arranges this kind of meeting places, like this is a big meeting place in Uganda, out in the village, where 30 women organizations are coming together for 4 days. And they are learning of what's empowerment of women. They are learning simple business plan. They are learning what is sustainable business. They are learning what is gender role. They are learning that they are wonderful and powerful women, because no one is telling them this. You know, they are just left. We are treating worse like donkeys. And I call it small is great. Because, you know, there is a theory about small is beautiful. And I believe that, because the masculine thing of building big companies is that it shall escalate, it shall be very big. But I believe in small and simple things. It can be great. Because everything is starting with a seed. A little seed that you plant in the head or in your heart, and in your soul, and also on the ground. So you can join us on Facebook. Small is Great is, the goal is to empower grassroots women in economical development. Because if they are economical, they can take care of themselves, they can also be interested in social and politics. Because if you're not having food in your stomach, if you don't know how you can get the food the next day, you are not interested in politics or in developing yourself. So we created this Small is Great network between Norway and Uganda that works to help to self-help. Its purpose is to fight rural poverty in Uganda by working to help women create their own businesses. So our goal is to be integrated in all districts in Uganda. And there are many districts in Uganda. But we started from one, and now we have 30 organizations. So this was in October, our 4th conference, where 450 women at Kampala City Hall. And today we have a network of 4,000 women, 30 women groups. In Norway, I really don't know, but I think we are between 100 and 200 people that are supporting this program. They are buying a cow, a pig, a sewing machine, seeds, a training program, lots of things that I and my network are asking for. And then we encourage the women, African women, that are to go into the Facebook, because, you know, that's the way they can broaden their minds, starting to discuss with people from Norway, to see that there are other perspectives in life. Because they're saying, you know, that are telling me, oh, you know, I'm a midwife, I never go out from my village. So I didn't know that I was important, that I was really can do something. Yes, you can. you can take care of yourself and your children. So we gave them a pig, 8 people. That because at the conference in July, we say that if you are going on, we encourage them to go to Facebook, and we told them that they will get a surprise. I like that kind of competitions, because a pig it costs a lot of money in Uganda. It's 300 Norwegian kroner, and that is a lot of money. But the pig can multiply. The pig can get money. You can get money out of a pig. If you breed it, the pig can produce twice a year, and the pig gets from 5 to 9 piglets. It's a lot of money. You can sell it in the market. Because we don't give out any money. Well, the leadership, of course we have an organization. It's very flat. But me, I'm the coordinator in Norway, and Joanita is the coordinator of the whole network in Uganda. And then we have partners like Hilde Magnussen, she's an MP in Norway, and a partner like Ellen Kragerberg. I have about 30 partners in Norway. And then you have this ambassador and a patron, and they are close up to the president. And you know, they haven't learned yet what is bottom-up strategy, because we try to teach them that this is a bottom-up strategy, not a top-down. So they are repeating it every time we go out in the bush. But it takes a while, because you have to change your head. But we believe that it's very important to work strategic with the top. Even if you have a president, it's lots of corruption, you know. But so we have to do it, because if we really want to change, make a difference, and to empower the women, that they are important, we have to make a strategic choice. So, why am I doing it? Of course, because I'm a woman. I'm a feminist. I became a feminist in the 70s. And I have a twin brother, so I saw that it was a difference between me and my brother. And women are half the world's population, working 2/3 of the world's working hours, receiving 10% of the world's income, owning less than 1% of the world's property. That is so unjust. So it's the man's world. And in Uganda, you see that it really is a man's world. But it's the women who are doing it. They are the creators. They are really working, taking care of the families. But they are culturally oppressed, so they have nothing to say. This is the greatest social injustice of all times. And it is directed at women in developing countries. So the status of women is that women worldwide, 3.5 billion people living in poverty. For them, just surviving is a struggle. This woman, Rose, doesn't know what she is going to eat the next day. She is living in a refugee camp, a permanent camp. She's from Achuli tribe, and she has been living in this refugee camp close to Banda, and her little girl is died from AIDS. And just surviving is a struggle. This is really about poverty. So I have decided that I should work down on the bottom of the pyramid. And women suffer the most. They own less, eat less, and work hardest. So African women are the strongest in the world. They carry an entire continent on their shoulders. So I'm really happy and feel very obliged to work with them, because they are so strong, but they don't know it. So where does all the money go? You know, Norwegian aid are giving so much money out, and people think that triple down in this money pyramid, but it's not. It's just stopping up in an elite. Of course, you have this big aid organization that have the most, get most of the money, and they really, it has to be a change. And that's why I think that social entrepreneurs had to go into this field and to be partners and collaborate. And I think, as a feminist, that Norwegian feminists changed Norway to a more equal society. They really did. Norwegian women's struggle for women's rights can inspire the African women. We cannot do it for them, but we can encourage them and inspire and say, we did it, you can do it. Because they haven't, if you don't know, have a vision of another situation, then it's very difficult. So we can come in and say, okay, you can do it. You can really organize yourself. Be together. Then you can be strong. So they have to do the job. They must stand up and fight for a better future for themselves and their children from violence, poverty, human rights, and gender oppression. Most of the women I work with, they are HIV positive, they are analphabets, illiterate, they don't have any education, because if you're a woman, you reproduce your mother's destiny. And so I think it's very important to be in solidarity with all poor, the outcast, the sick, and wounded women in the world. This is Erik Solheim, Minister of the Environment and International Development, and this is Dambisa Moyo, Zambia, and she has written a book. She's an economist. She has written a book. It's called Dead Aid. Have you heard of it? Well, she wants to know, and I quoting somewhat she's very critical to the aid programs. And she is telling, if you come to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come because of your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together. So this is the core values of our program. Well, I have give you some pictures. In the quarry in Banda, they are crushing stones. $1 a day they earn. It's a hard labor. And these girls in a refugees camp, girls are worthless. You know, if you are born as a girl, you have nothing to, you have not the same possibility as boys. This is from Kabubi village. Is there a female future? Well, of course, education is the key to development. But most of the girls, they don't get any education. They are going back to staying back home with their mothers and digging in the garden and taking care of the siblings and get married at an age of 13 or 15 years. And and get HIV positive and so on. So I believe that self-employment is the most powerful strategy to reduce poverty in the world's women. Women's economic empowerment leads to social and political empowerment. This is from a great conference we had in the parliament in Norway about this issue. We work with competence, networking, capital. We train them in saving, investing, and use. So now we have 18 cows. We started with 1 cow in 2005. And now we have 18 cows. Because what can we do to help? We know how with a cow. The family gets milk to sell and drink to buy a cow now. So buy a cow now, and cow can change the world. A cow is expensive. So, yeah, this is some of the cows. We also have a piggery program 8 women groups have received 131 pigs in 2011 from our pig program. They have produced 886 pigs, 6 pigs at an average. Each woman give a pig in return to this bank. So they are very happy for it because the pig means money. So Gladys Natum in Vampebo has 5 children. She is paying for them school fees from her business. We gave her 2 pigs and she expanded from them. Now she has opened up a business, borrowed money from microfinance in Vampebo and started a pork butcher. So little, just 2 pigs. And so, you know, it's small, it's great. That's what we are. Because we work with individuals, you can do it. We will give you a pig. Okay, I have a little time. Microfinance bank we have. We also have saving and loaning groups. This is all the partners, Norwegian partners, and godmothers from Norway. This is one woman that is partner to this group. And then we also have a sewing training center for dropouts, young girls. Well, then we went to Gulu, and last Friday we delivered out 35 pigs. And it was fantastic. So happiness is a warm pig. It's all about, I will conclude, it's all about empowerment. That I know from my life that I must take care of myself. It's not about, I just have to, if I want to be happy, I have to do it myself. So, that, and why I believe in these women. So, it's about overcoming the limitation we put on ourselves by other people. And that's very difficult. At last, you know, where do I get the money from? From all the pigs. We have built a piggery house. We have built a lot of things, giving out 1,000 pigs, chickens, sewing machines. Of course, I do fund crowding. I make events. So this is when you invest in goodness, you harvest in love. That is on Facebook. And this is, they got seeds from Norway. And then I had art auction with the trauma and dreams from Gulu. And now I'm with my partner who is MP. We have gifts, Christmas gifts we sell on the internet. And the next program is Emma's dream. Emma died from cancer last year. She was only 14 years. And then her mother and some other women, we decided that we should make her dream come true because one of her wishes was that, Mama, we have to help people in Africa. Yeah.
Thank you, Bitten. It's very inspiring. And I hope we can inspire you even more with a book from Bergsjön. So, tack ska ni ha. Thank you. And now it's coffee and something small to eat. So it's time for break.